Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Shifting Perspectives, the Baja Beach Wellness Diaries. I am Wendy, your host. I am joined by Angela and Amy and Bridget today. Today we are talking about advice you would give your younger self. So we are going to be funny. We're going to be honest, and we're just going to get right into it. So icebreakers. Let's just kick it off with something light and fun. Have some questions here. Let's just talk about your favorite outfit. We have, a couple different, we kind of grew up in little different times.
Yeah.
So, who wants to
we are. So what generations do we have?
All right. So I was born in 1972.
79.
82. 90.
Oh, you were born when I graduated. That's disgusting. All right, so
we are though coming off of like a great lunch. We had a birthday lunch.
Yeah,
Bridget.
Happy birthday, Bridget. Which is baby here.
It's kind of interesting we're having this advice you'd give your younger self because we're celebrating a birthday.
Yes.
Shout out to Vintner's Table. We had a lovely meal there.
There you go.
It's our favorite spot.
Yes,
our favorite spot.
It's our favorite.
We can walk over, enjoy some wine, and walk back. So that's what we just did. So, so this might be fun.
Extra spicy and
extra
fun.
Spicy and fun. So I'll kick it off since I'm the oldest here. So, my theme in high school, it was the 80s. It was big hair. It was lots of Aquanet. It was, if it didn't sizzle, it wasn't working with the curling iron and all that. But, high school was definitely the big hair. It was the rock band t-shirt for me, at least. It was the pegged pants. If you don't know what pegged pants are, you took your jeans, you folded them over at the bottom, you shoved them into those big slouchy socks. No, you didn't. Well, sometimes
my generation rolled them.
Yeah, sometimes you rolled them if you were going to be over the socks. If you're in the socks, you just kind of you folded them over and tucked them in the socks. So it was kind of like making our own skinny jeans.
You tucked them in socks.
Yeah, you tucked them in like almost like leg warmer, like the slouchy socks.
Okay, I know a leg warmer.
Yeah. So it kind of looked like that. And then like for me, it was like the wrestling sneakers. I don't know if you want to look at like wrestling sneakers, but literally it looked like what the guys wear the wrestling shoes.
Like the high top.
Like low profile, like wrestling sneakers. Like that was my look, at least. That was me. A lot of the girls wore like the neon and the Madonna kind of things. That was my look, but that was my look now. And well, then, now it's this.
Yeah. Well, my look was, I'm thinking during my clubbing days, the very, very low rise, LEI jeans. Remember that brand? LEI?
No.
No.
I don't.
Yeah. And the whale tail. You had to have the whale tail showing. So back in the day, Victoria's Secret with their thongs, they bedazzled the back of them. That was a big deal.
That's true. I had a pair that said sexy.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Like you went for the sparkle on the thongs because they stuck out the back, right?
Yeah.
And also the lingerie tops. The lingerie tops.
The Y2K.
You went braless and then you threw on a pair of those Candies heeled open toe wedges.
Yep.
So that was my go-to outfit.
That was like the 20s when you were like in your 20s.
Very early. Very early.
Late
1920.
Yeah. I was in high school and I hung out with like I cheered. So I was a cheerleader, but then I had like a lot of skater friends. So I was like in kind of like the skater group. So we had like the big Jenko jeans.
Yes.
With like the Etnie or the Airwalk. Mm-hmm. That was like the cool thing with like the little tight, top because you're a girl, so you can't, Oh,
I love that look.
That
was kind of like after me, but that was a cool look.
Yeah.
I like that look.
Yeah. Interesting.
The other side of that look, like when I was in high school, was like the Benetton and that kind of stuff, like the Banana Republic and that kind of thing. That was more like the preppy look.
It was like the preppies or the skaters.
Yeah. And then there was like the hairband rocker, that was kind of my speed.
Yeah. We also though had you put your bangs up and you sprayed them and then you blow dry them and they just kind of like did
the
like
flock
a thing.
Of seagulls kind of thing.
Yeah.
What about you, Bridget?
Well, I had to wear a uniform to high school every day, so we would get in trouble from the nuns
for rolling our skirts up too far. And, but I mean, honestly, it wasn't a bad look. It was a short skirt and knee highs. I mean,
Very good.
You were right out of the
yeah. But when I could dress how I wanted, I was of the, the American Eagle, I didn't pop the collar. I don't think I ever did that. I think that's kind of cringy, but I was of the double shirts. We had the little tank top and then we had the collared, polo over top of it and the jeans, which I guess were like skinny jeans, but I also was very much like you were saying, like I was a cheerleader, but I was friends with the skaters and, I fell in love with the drummer of the band that I used to go see. So I was also very much in that scene and had all the piercings at one point. And so it evolved. It's, and I think when you're in Catholic school and you're, you have to wear a certain uniform. You're very excited to be able to express whatever you can, whenever you can dress down.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right. Well, we just had wine for lunch. And I don't think we were probably doing wine back then, but let's talk about your go-to drink. You were talking about clubbing. What did you do?
Oh, back in the day.
Then versus now.
Yeah, then versus now. Oh my gosh.
Wait, are we talking high school or once we could drink?
Once we could drink.
Yeah,
Let's keep it legal. Keep it legal.
No, it was definitely back in the day, 1402, Legends, the Brass Rail. Miller Lite Pounders. The pounder bottles, the pounder plastic bottles. Today, I mean, I will dabble in anything, but my preferred drink is bourbon. So,
okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
More
grown up. That's more grown up taste.
It is very, yes.
Yeah.
Now you're a sipper instead of a pounder.
There you go. Yeah. If you don't, if you don't look it, or if you don't feel it, look it. So that's what I do.
There you go.
Bourbon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What about you, Amy?
What did you drink, Dame?
Younger 20s in high school. So when I was in high school, I used to love pounding Blue Maui schnapps. Like, who does that? Yeah.
I don't even.
Let's go throw up in a cornfield, everybody. But when I was in my 20s, vodka and cranberry was like my go-to. I was a vodka and cranberry girl. Most girls I hung out with, it was like the Bahama Bayberries or the Malibu Bayberries.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, they are very delicious. I was the vodka cranberry girl till I had too many vodka cranberries that I was over it. But I'm definitely, what I am now.
We know.
Yeah, I love my
margarita girl. Yeah.
Well, in high school for us, again, in Catholic school, you're a little secluded. So I think that kind of makes you want to be a little bit more rebellious. So whatever we could get our hands on. I mean, there was potato vodka. There was a really bad night with that. I mean, the Russian, potato, we're not going to get into that on this pod, but, I was in my early 20s known for, my jungle juice. So I used to I would host the parties in college and I would get a tub and I would line it with a trash bag, which is very classy. And I would pour in whatever fruit I could get my hands on. If it was fall, it was apples. If it was spring semester, it might be some berries or something. And then just handles of probably Vladimir mixed with juices of sorts. And it got the job done.
What do you prefer now?
We all know I'm a White Claw, person. I love my claws, but, wine. I love wine, love tequila. I don't really discriminate, but I have not made a jungle juice since college.
Next podcast.
I've grown up.
As far as a go-to when I don't know what else I want to do, it kind of always has been amaretto and Coke. That's if I don't know what else to get, that's my go-to. I do love my Malibu Bay Breezes. I didn't back then, but I do now, but that's always been my thing. I always joke that when I first got married, my mother-in-law would iron everything, for her and my father-in-law and my husband, literally everything. So I'm I guess that's what I have to do. I have to iron everything. I hate ironing. I don't even own an ironing board anymore. So I was I guess that's what I got to do. And they, my husband wore button down shirts, collars and everything. So I would come home from work and I would pour myself a big old amaretto and Coke, and that's how I got myself through my
Oh my God, I love it.
So, that's how I got through. And that's still like, if I don't know what else I want to drink, like that's my favorite. So
Yeah.
it's kind of never changed. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. What else we got on here? So what about a trend? Like, were you obsessed with any kind of a trend back when you were in high school? Seems to be like, I don't know. That's like, when you hop on a trend, like I didn't go to college, so I'm assuming college is the type, time when you go into trends, but
Yeah, because I went to Tobahaken, so there was not much trends.
I went there. Yeah, it was just like Tobahaken. There was no,
But the trend I remember after, if you're talking fashion, the trend that I was obsessed with was I wanted to look like a younger version of Carmela Soprano in her velour tracksuits with like a little bit of J-Lo spice to it, right?
Okay.
So it was like the same color top and bottoms. And then you'd have to have like almost like the open toe wedges, and you'd have your hair all done and the big earrings and necklace and bracelets, makeup fully done. But that was what I was obsessed with.
I remember the Juicy Couture.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tracksuits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't really, I grew up, so I went to school in Hamburg, and everybody I feel like was like kind of trendy that lived in that area, but I grew up in Strausstown. We were like the outlier. I'm closer to where Angela went to school, but the districting was just, that's how it was. So like, my parents never really like got us into like the trendy clothes or anything like that. So I was kind of like a just mismatch of whatever. So I've never really been like a trendy person. And now I am like very classic. Like I like beige. I like beige. I like white. I like black. I am like very neutral, very classic. I like things that will last me forever. Like I would much rather invest in like a piece of clothing or a handbag or a pair of shoes that's going to last me like 10 or 15 years. It's a little bit more expensive, but like I'm just not a trendy person. I'm just like more of a classic. Like that's how I've always been.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What about you, Bridget?
The first thing that came to mind for me was the hair bump. Does everybody remember? Well, I mean, this was but I had the bump in the front. Like we used to take it and then we'd have the little, it would be right here, like a little unicorn. I don't know why that was cute.
I kind of remember you having that.
I would do it here. Yeah. And that was the little thing in high school. I mean, again, I think of hair because we all had uniforms, so we didn't really have a lot of other ways to express ourselves. So
I remember, and you guys might all be too young to remember this. There was a thing when I was in school, and this might have been more like a late elementary, like middle school thing. They were like friendship pins. So you got like safety pins, you got little colored beads that you put on the safety pins, and like the colors of the beads meant like different things, or like little friendship pins, and like the friendship bracelets that you would like braid and that kind of stuff. Like that was that was a huge, and it was like one of those things you would put the safety pins on your shoelaces, so that like that was a thing. The more pins you had, the more popular you were. And that was big. That was big.
Isn't it so
trendy thing?
Like, it's so funny to think about the things, and we're gonna parlay into this with this conversation, but the things that you thought were so important and mattered so much in life that really like were just like not a big deal at all.
Yeah. And this
is like so funny.
Speaking of that, and this is like a totally like different side thing, but that you thought were so important. Like in my high school I think it was Valentine's Day, they did like a carnation thing. And like it was a secret thing that if you got a red carnation, like you could buy carnations for different people and send them to that person in their classroom, and they would deliver the carnations. So if you got red carnations, it meant somebody loved you. If you got a pink carnation, it was like a secret admirer, I think, or friendship, I think. And a white carnation has been a secret admirer. And like that was a big thing. And it crushed your soul if you didn't get red ones or you didn't get white ones. And like, you think about that. Like, honestly, there was no way that schools, I don't think, would do something like that now.
We had that at Central. We
Really?
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
remember
you know,
it,
you
yeah.
think about that now, and like my husband went to the same school as I did. So like we talk about that sometimes now, and you know, we even will say to each other, like, well, how many did you get? How many colors did you get that color? And it's like, you know, it was, you were almost embarrassed, like, oh, I got 2. And you see these girls that would walk around with like whole armful of like,
Yeah, and you know,
yeah, exactly.
they're fat and lonely. I've seen them on Facebook.
I know. Isn't it so? That is one thing. It's so crazy because I have pretty much like no contact with like a lot of people from
Same.
high school, and I didn't have like a lot of friends in high school. But like, it's so funny if you see who was popular, who wasn't popular. Like, God bless this one guy who was like so nice to everybody, and like he was very popular in our class. Like, just I found out he like committed suicide. Like, I just found that out like 2 days ago. It's like so crazy how when you're in high school and you're young, you think everything is just like all wrapped up in that, and that's all that's going to matter in your life, and all these people are going to be who you have the rest of your life, and it's just crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that can segue into, you know, a little bit deeper conversation. I think that's one thing that if I could go back and tell myself, like, that didn't matter. It didn't matter. Seeing that person that has that armful of flowers, don't sweat it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things.
Or
Because really, because, you know, in eventually they might end up, you know, in a different situation than you might end up in a better situation than them. Just because they had all those flowers doesn't mean that they're going to have a better family and a better situation and a better marriage, or, you know, whatever. That, you know, just don't even pay attention to that because it doesn't really matter.
But you're always, when you're younger, like judging. I mean, I guess you always are, like comparing yourself to other people.
Mhm.
And that's like one of the biggest problems because everybody's on their own path and everybody has their own thing. But, yeah, I mean, I loved high school. I had a small, close knit, really unique group of about 80 people that I graduated with that, I keep in touch with very few. The few that I do, you know, we're really still close. But in general, it was a more, and this was just my experience, like cohesive group of people. Like I really enjoyed it. I would go back to high school in a second just because I really loved the people that I was with and we had fun. But it's completely, when you look at what actually matters, when you're looking at the roses, it doesn't matter how many roses you got in high school.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, I know one thing we're going to talk about today is like your relationships. When you're young and that first boyfriend breaks up with you, I will never forget my very first boyfriend. I did not have any boyfriends in high school because I was an ugly, awkward duckling. And then as soon as I turned 18, it was like, everybody wanted to be my boyfriend. So, like, my very first boyfriend, who I'm pretty sure didn't even like girls, like, I will never forget, he broke up with me, like, the day before Thanksgiving, and my mom was so pissed because I just was hysterical all of Thanksgiving dinner. She's like, that ruined Thanksgiving dinner, blah, 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 blah. But you think it is literally like the end of your world.
Oh, yeah.
And that is like one of the huge things. I feel like you are going to have so many instances in your life, hopefully not a ton, but I look back at every single time I've had a situation where I thought it was the end of my world.
Yeah.
And life always moves on.
Yeah.
Right? Life always moves on.
Yeah, that's for sure. What about you, Ange? Do you have like that like defining moment that you can say that, you know, if you could go back, like,
if I could go back and give myself advice?
yeah, like in high school, like high school, you think about that, you know, something that you thought really mattered back then that really just didn't.
You know, I think there's so much, but something that I live by today that I wish I could tell my younger self is that, you know, not to spoil the ending, but everything is going to be okay, including your boobs. So, yeah. I was very self-conscious about my boobs. I was very consumed with them, but everything's going to be fine, including them. So it's good. But I think, different parts of our lives, especially in that high school setting, and I'm seeing that now with my kids. And, as a parent, are they listening? Are they not listening? But I say to them, this is not the real world. You're only here for a short time. And the people, whether they're bullies or whether they're jerks, this is just preparing you, and there's a whole other world out there. So it's going to be okay. Yeah. It's going to be fine.
And I feel bad for kids these days because we didn't have social media back in our day. And I can only imagine, how my mother would have been like, I would have been like, I'm sleeping over at Jenny Kramer's house. And she would have seen me live streaming from Asbury Park, New Jersey when I was 16. Like, you know what I mean? Like kids these days, I feel like they have it worse with the bullying because of social media. They have it worse with it's just everybody, it creates this narrative that you have to be a certain way or you should be a certain way. And I feel really bad for kids these days with all of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like 10 times more extreme.
Yeah.
I remember, I had a relationship in high school, and it was right before I started at Baja with someone who broke up with me, cheated on me, and that was the end of my world. So if I had to go back, and that was literally the one person that connected me to the most important people still in my life. My husband now, right? And how he had literally that boy who broke me was the connection to who I'm still married to for almost 20 years. And then my best friend. So
You're married for 20 years almost.
We're together, I think 19. Wow. And this,
God, we're old.
But
that was an epic wedding, by the way.
It was fun. We had a great time. But no, it literally, that was I feel like the worst rejection I've ever felt. Oh my God. And if I could go back and tell myself it doesn't matter at all. This is literally, sometimes the worst thing leads you to everything you ever wanted.
Yeah. No, we were talking about that at lunch. I'm a very firm believer in, I've told my kids that, you lose the job or you lose the person or, whatever. It's like, just relax, just trust that, you're on a journey and life is going to take you where it's supposed to take you. You may not be where you thought you were going to be at all, but it's where you're supposed to be. You just have to trust in the process. What about when you were in high school or, college? Did you try real hard? Were you in the honors classes? What would you go back and tell yourself to do it differently? I can absolutely say that I would. If I could go back, I was a BC student. I know that I'm smarter than what I did in school. I would definitely tell myself to work harder. I would come home from from school. I would come home from school. I'd get right down to my homework. I would do it right away, get it out of the way. So it was done. And, I had the rest of my night. I definitely would have tried for those honors classes. I know that I could have done better than I did. So I would tell myself that, not because, I wanted to get the college scholarships. I didn't go to college. I didn't have the financial support to go to college. I didn't want the financial burden of college. And I don't know that I really wanted to live with somebody else and, do the whole college thing. I didn't like school enough. But I wish that I would have put more into it, for sure. So that's definitely something that I've always said, that if I could go back, there's two things I would have told, a couple things I would have told myself. I would have told myself to, try harder, try to get those better grades, do the honors classes, because I know that I could have. I also would have told myself to put myself out there more, with everything, with, extracurriculars. I was in chorus. I would watch the people in those musicals. Because I had to sing in front of somebody by myself to try out. Oh God, no. Why?
I love
just
play
do
practice.
it.
That was my favorite.
Right. And it looked like so much fun, but I wouldn't, just because I had to sing by myself in front of the chorus director. it wasn't going to kill me to do it. Like, I wish that I would have just done it.
Yeah.
So why didn't I just do it? So put myself out there, even with guys that I liked, I wish that I would have just put myself out there. But, I can tell myself that now, but back then, being told no, and anybody else knowing that oh, she asked him out. What is she thinking? And everybody making fun of you and that kind of stuff because he said no. But what if he would have said yes?
Yeah.
Who knows? So just put yourself out there more and just don't be afraid of the word no. And, those are definitely things that I would have told myself.
Yeah.
Just don't be so scared. I was just a scared little mouse and I flew under the radar. Just don't everybody look at me. Don't pay attention to me. I'm just going to do my thing and go home. That was definitely me. I was definitely would have put myself out there more confident. Yeah.
I love that, Wendy.
What about you?
Honestly, I was about a month and a half away from leaving, for college, or actually I was going to art school, and, during the summer, I was working 40 hours a week and I was making bank. I worked at Hooters.
Woo! You had to love your boobies then.
I did.
I love right down the street.
I did.
Or right down the strip.
I did. Yeah. And what's funny is, on my long shifts, imagine this, I would walk up to you guys and I would tan with lotion and then try to slap those pantyhose back on. Yeah, that was a workout in itself. But they had the water bra.
Oh yes, I remember the water bra.
The water bra. So that was my saving grace. But no, I chickened out of going to college because I wanted to go to college for all the wrong reasons. And I'm so glad I didn't go to college because to this day, I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. And so I'm glad I didn't do that. Looking back now, if I have one regret or one thing that I should have done in that situation is join the military. Wow. Now that I'm more mature. Absolutely. I think it's a great opportunity when you are kind of lost in the sauce. You know what? Commit 4 years, go into the military, get experience, travel the world, meet new people.
I feel like you would have excelled at the military.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah. I do too.
You'd be some kind of general by now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I don't remember why I never thought about that. I think, I'm not sure why, but I do know why because, shortly thereafter, 9/11 happened. So that was, no matter what aisle of the fence you sat on, it was a topic of discussion. It was a profound moment in our history. Yeah. But as far as my career path or advice, I was an okay student. I didn't love school, nor did I hate it. I got pretty good grades with the exception of math class. Shout out to Mrs. Leininger. She did her best to carry me to a C. She was the hardest teacher on me, but she is the one that had the most impact. But, I didn't know what I wanted to be. So I worked at Hooters. Yeah. And Hooters shaped a lot, no pun intended, but a lot of experiences that I still carry to this day. You want to talk about a fast track to gaining confidence. You stand half naked in front of men and women taking orders,
selling.
Yes.
Yeah.
American Swiss cheddar or provolone, mushrooms, onions, green peppers, bacon, on your burger. Right. So, but that was fun for me back then. And I was making so much money. I'm going back to 2000. I working 40 hours a week, 18 years old. I was banking around $800 cash a week. So I thought I didn't need college. I knew exactly what I was doing. So, but I don't regret any path that I took with the exception of joining the military, but not just joining that. My path, came to fruition the way it was supposed to be.
I didn't know that you ever thought about going to the military.
Yeah.
Really
cool. The only regret that I have.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. What about you, Bridget?
What was the question? We went
change anything about school, what your grades, how you applied yourself in school or college,
Well,
high school or college?
Yeah, we kind of talked about this at lunch. Like, I was very, very much at the time that I graduated from high school, it was like, you have to go to college. Like, I was very much just pushed to go to college, and I didn't know what I wanted to do when I got into college. So, I was undeclared for 2 years, and I kind of just had fun and partied, my way around that until I found what I wanted to do, which was communications, public relations. And then I started excelling in my classes. But as far as, I don't think college is for everybody right out of high school. We've talked about that, and especially not today with AI going to take over the world soon. We have to start to pivot and think of things differently. But at the time, that was the path. And I don't think that is necessarily the path for everybody. But I wouldn't necessarily change anything. In high school, I was just having too much fun to really care about grades. And, I did put myself out there a lot, so I don't really have any regrets with that. But, yeah, I would just say I would definitely take a second and make a stand for myself. I think I would have benefited more from taking off a couple years in between and just working and then going back at a different time if that's what I wanted to do. But really, my heart was always here. I was going to be here, and I gained a ton of skills in college. I'm so grateful for my college education. But, yeah, I don't think that's the right path for everybody. And I think we were talking about this at lunch, it's not the same path for everybody, and it looks different for everybody. Everybody has their own unique talents. And, I think it's important that we, have direction after high school, but not necessarily, always that secondary education. Yeah.
I think it's important. I took a gap year after high school because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And in that year, I started working here. And then I did end up going to Penn State, but I still didn't really know what I wanted to do. I started as a nursing major, changed to a horticulture major, changed to a kinesiology major. And then the reason I changed to kinesiology at the time, Penn State Berks only had 4 degrees you could get while staying at Penn State Berks. And I think I was managing 2 of our stores and working 40 hours a week and going to school full time at that point. So I wanted to stay here. My boyfriend at the time, the one that broke up with me during Thanksgiving, he had gone to Penn State, and I had visited up there while he moved in. And I didn't really care for main campus. So I decided I was just going to stay at Berks, be a commuter student, work full time. But again, even having 1 year off, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I changed my major 2 times. So I do think it's important that you don't waste money. If you're not sure what you want to do, there is no rush to decide. I do think, especially in the climate we're in right now with AI coming in, that it is important to maybe get some real world experience and maybe take a non-traditional view when it comes to education, because the world is changing so rapidly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I probably wouldn't change what I did because I am just not really a traditional kind of educational, I don't know. I feel like I took honors class. I was in honors classes in high school. I took honors classes in college, but I do feel like I could have maybe gotten into something a little bit more academic, but that's not really my style in my everyday life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I probably would do exactly what I did, and
I feel like you should be a professor. You should just be telling people about this.
Let me tell you what they don't teach you in school.
Yeah.
Kids.
Yeah.
That's what I always thought. If I would have gone to college, I wanted to be an English teacher, a secondary teacher.
Grammar.
Yeah. Yes.
Grammar. We love that.
Because I did have a grammar teacher that was god awful. I mean, pretty sure she hated me as much as I hated her. However, that she did her job because I knew that she could stand me. I made sure that I did everything perfectly just to piss her off.
I love that.
Really. And for some reason, I just wanted to do that. But I'm glad I didn't, because I'm pretty sure right now I would not want to be a teacher. God for all the teachers,
I live with one now. You don't.
To every teacher out there. I don't know how. There's no way. There's no way I'd be able to do it.
That's how, like, I had an anatomy teacher in college that I loved. I absolutely loved her, but like quickly realized that I didn't really have to go to class in college to get A's on all my tests. And she hated that. Like, she hated it. She hated that, like, and it just was what it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I did learn a lot from her, the classes I did go to.
Yeah.
So I either had to like go to class and I didn't have to study, or I could like not go to class and then just study on my own. Like, it was either or. I didn't have to do both. So, and she just wasn't cool with that.
Yeah. I don't know. It was one of those, like, maybe it was all in my mind, but just go up there and diagram that sentence and I would do it. And I just felt like her look on her face when I turned around was just like, she's right. I don't know. It was my own mind.
We used to have nuns that would just walk around and be like, what is this shape? I'd be like, what? Like, it was a bizarre 4 years. At a Catholic high school, at that abandoned building that got It was a really weird 4 years. It was fun, but there was nuns drawing shapes.
In the air.
In the air. And that was education.
Like,
that we paid a lot of money for.
All right. Well, we're all about wellness here at Baja. So let's think about that. I know for me, we always joke that like it was Noxzema and Sea Breeze. That was our skincare back then. If it didn't burn, it wasn't working.
Oh my God.
So, I could definitely say that, going back like that, there wasn't a whole lot of that kind of thing. So I would tell myself to like take care of my skin a lot sooner. We're totally flipping gears from like high school to skincare, but that's definitely something I do think about a lot. I've definitely changed my routine as far as like taking care of my skin. I feel like a lot of it for me, some damage has been done it's too late at this point. So I'm thankful for some of the stuff we have here, red light and all that to help me. But, I definitely wish that I would have gotten on, weight loss journey earlier. I've always been the chubby kid, so it is what it is. But what about that kind of stuff? Do you look back now and think of things that, society and food and nutrition and all of that when we were growing up, definitely there wasn't the awareness that there is now. So do you wish that you would have had all of that knowledge back then? What would you have applied back then? Do you wish you would have done some things different so you would have different outcome and outlook now?
I think it's very, very, very interesting and refreshing that, like, I kind of equivalent, we're on the equivalent, like, generation, you and I feel like, and even, like, kind of like Wendy, but when we were in our 20s, like, it was nothing to, like, get blackout drunk every weekend. That's just, like, what you did. You went to the club, you got blackout drunk, somebody drove home, you wake up, you, like, feel like shit, you go to McDonald's.
And you go to work on time.
And you do go to work on time. Usually with
you play out through.
last night's makeup still on, like, and you just go about your day. But I mean, I just read some study, like, alcohol consumption in the United States is at its lowest level that it has ever been in history.
Can't tell by Gen Xers. We're still doing our part.
Speaking of which, so I feel like that is like kind of like we're evolving as a society to realize, like, I mean, you still have to live your life, but like, technically, is alcohol poison? It is. So, I feel like the younger generations are way more not self-conscious, but like, health conscious than we were. Yeah. And, their Friday night, they like, maybe go out, have a margarita for happy hour, and then go home, do their skincare, put their sleep mask on.
Oh, gosh.
Like, it's,
I know, right?
It's good though, because we're evolving as a society with wellness. You know what I mean?
I agree. Yeah. However, I when I look back, I don't regret,
I don't regret it at all.
the Parliament lights, because you had to have Parliament lights. They had the recessed filter, plus they were $3 per pack more than all the others. So you were cool. I don't regret the party life.
Yeah.
I would, you smoked, you went out, you drank, and you got up and you went to the gym and you sweat it all out and you go to work and you did it all over again.
Mm-hmm.
And I always would look at other individuals that weren't like doing what I did or my friends were doing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're like so missing out. Like you're going to have a bad, rough midlife crisis. But it's just, I'm glad I got that out of the way. And I feel like I was younger then. Obviously I had the metabolism to handle that, and the energy, because now, like back then I was pre-gaming at 10 o'clock to be out at the bars till 2:30 in the morning and then hit up the diner for, cream chip on beef, right? Now if I go out and I'm at dinner, I'm begging the server to get me my check by 7:30 because I want to be home by 8 and in bed by 8:15.
And there's very few bars now. I just had this conversation with my boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
There are very few bars now that are open until 2:30. In fact, the one that literally is right across the backyard from us, we went there the other night and I will say it was like a Tuesday or a Thursday. So not, a weekend night. But we went over there. He's like, hey, you want to grab a beer and like something to eat? I'm like, sure. So we walk across the backyard and literally they are putting the bar stools up on the tables and cleaning up at like 8:30. And their kitchen closes at 9, but I'm like, we need to get the hell out of here. Like, what is going on? And while I will say that does make patrons feel very unwelcome, and I don't recommend doing that as a business. It is interesting that, they have a hard cutoff, like 9 o'clock, they're closed. Mm-hmm. There's a couple different bars in the town we live in. They're only open till like 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's like after COVID, it just that was it. We drank enough during COVID to probably last.
Oh my God. Yeah. This is the dry out period.
Yeah.
It is different.
Drinking will come back around.
It is different. Like midnight is about the latest you can find now. Yeah. It's funny you say that though, because it is true. Now I went from living at home with my parents to marriage. Like I didn't live on my own at all. And I would say that is something I would tell myself that I should have done. I should have, even if I would have had a roommate, even if Kevin and I would have lived together before we got married, I've told my girls, live with them for a little while first. You don't have
so you got married and didn't even live together before you got married.
Oh my
Wow.
Right?
Wendy.
Right? Oh yeah.
She's a committer.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
I slept at home in my bedroom at my parents' house the night before my wedding.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Which is like kind of romantic, but like
and so traditional.
Yeah.
And we went, and so did he.
Yeah.
Like we both lived at home.
Aww.
We went. He knows. We went from the church. We slept at the inn. Our reception was at the inn at Reading. We slept at the inn at Reading that night. We went to Wildwood, New Jersey to his parents' condo. We got married in November. It was the week before Thanksgiving. So we just took a couple of days in Wildwood. We came back because it was before Thanksgiving. And the night that we came back from our honeymoon, we had built a house. So that was the first night in our home. And I literally faced away from him, fighting tears because I just wanted to go home.
Oh.
It was like, oh my God.
Like something so
this
new
was
and
my
scary.
First night, not in my bedroom.
Yeah.
In this house. Yeah. Holy shit. What did I just do? Like it was, whew. And my mom just for ease of like saving water, she still did my laundry.
Oh,
like, and the hamper's full. I'm like, who the hell's going to do this laundry? I remember calling my mom going, how do I do this? Like, how do I do laundry? Like, I had no business. I was 22. I had no business having a house, having a husband. Like, the hell did I just do? Like, it was shocking. So I told my girls, and Kevin doesn't like that I told my girls this, but I'm like, you need to, even if you're with someone, and Shelby and Jordan, my oldest, and my son-in-law, like they did live together for a while before they got married. Like you need to live together for a while, and his view of it is like, well, if they live together for a little while, maybe the marriage isn't going to actually happen.
Right.
And sorry to say, yeah, you're right. Maybe it wouldn't. I think in his mind, he sometimes thinks, well, because we were actually married, that's why we stayed together. But, and that's not necessarily true, but, and I think that we needed to have that time, I needed to have that time, whether I was with him or on my own or with a girlfriend or whatever, to learn how to live outside of my parents' house, and take care of myself. My youngest daughter is doing it. She's living on her own. Her boyfriend is going to be moving in with her, I think by the end of this month, but she's had a couple months just to do it on her own. And I'm like, yes, girl, that is the way to do it. And she was very adamant that she's like, no, I'm going to invite him to move in with me, but I need to do it on my own first. Like, yes, that's the way you need to do it. So it was a lot.
I feel so strongly. Like I want to tell every young woman in this world, you need to create your own life before you go live your life with a man. Like you need to be your own person with your own identity, your own ideals, and your own whole little life before you decide you're going to settle down with a man. Because I see so many of these young girls these days planning their whole life around a man. And I'm not saying men are bad.
Right.
Like, I love my man. My man is great. But if there is one thing I learned over the past 6-7 years of my life is you are the most effective person when you are your own person first and you are not basing any kind of life decisions around another person. I mean, obviously, if you're in a relationship, you make life decisions together, but you really need to be your own whole identity before you can be in a healthy relationship with somebody. Yeah. Because then you can take care of yourself. You are with that person because you love and admire them and respect them and want to build a life with them, not because you're trying to tie your identity to who you are with them. Right. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I see so many young women just basing all their life decisions on what their man is doing. And it is I just want to be stop it.
Yeah. So I never had that. I never had that. No. I went from my high school boyfriend to Kevin. Well, I went from Kevin to my high school boyfriend back to Kevin. And then, marriage with him, and then we had kids. And so really, if I've ever had my wild time and, with the friends we have now and going out more and, so yeah, the midlife crisis did hit.
It's coming up for you. You haven't been to Nashville with us.
I am definitely more wild now than I've probably ever been in my life. Really, because I never did.
Yeah, I say to you all the time, I'm like, how do you stay up that late? You want to be around that many people at one time?
Yeah. I never had that. I never had that party time in my life.
Well, strap in, Wendy.
Yeah.
We're gonna get there.
Because it's funny because some people, it's some people have that in the beginning of their life and then some people don't have it in the beginning. It's you all have the same stages of life, but they're not necessarily in the same order.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on. What about, are we good with wellness? What about you? You didn't answer that question.
What do you mean?
As far as, what do you wish that you would have known back then that you don't know now about just your skincare, your health, your taking care of yourself? Me asked about the partying and, that kind of stuff. But is there anything you wish you would have done differently to get yourself to where you are now? As far as taking care of your body, your skin, your wellness routines?
I mean, I've always been active for the most part, on and off, going to the gym and working out. I had my bouts of, going out to the bars and all that.
Her bouts.
My bouts.
Her bouts.
But as far as what I wish I would have known about, I don't know, like wellness back then was cutting
Wasn't a
out
thing.
bread. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like cutting out bread and so that,
Slim fast.
right, that I could fit into my
Atkins.
going out clothes for the weekend.
Snack
Snack
wells.
Yes, exactly. It really,
It wasn't true wellness.
No, working out wasn't a fad. Eating well, like at that time, it's different these days than it was back then.
Yeah.
You didn't
It's always
think about stuff like
evolving.
that.
You know?
Yeah. Sure. What else? What else you got? I got one. It's just really simple.
What?
Anybody wearing braces or you got kids who wear braces, wear your retainer.
Yes.
Good God. I wish I would have worn my retainer.
And if you didn't get braces when you were younger, get them now. Like I got braces in 2019 and it literally has fixed something that's bothered me my whole entire life. Just get them.
Yeah.
Get the clear ones. I got the clear aligners. It was like,
I
big deal.
had the wire. And
but even then, like,
it is that's
like,
all they had back then.
It's so worth it.
Yeah.
It is like so worth it.
Yeah.
I just won't get braces for my kids till their baby teeth are all out because
Yeah.
I just
What's the
feel like
point?
that's such a waste of money. They're like, you should go for braces consult. I'm like, no, not yet.
Yeah.
When everything's in and set, like,
Yeah, that's what it was even when my youngest was, growing
no,
up.
they
That
push
wasn't
it.
that long ago. I know they
Mhm.
push it really young now. Like, no, wait till the baby teeth are out. And that's what it was for me, too.
then we can see what we're working with.
I used to have beautiful teeth and I didn't wear my retainer. I'm like, oh, they're not going to move that fast. And then one day you can't fit your retainer in. It's like, oh, shit.
I always wanted a retainer.
I wear
so
it
bad.
every night.
Good for you.
Yes.
still have-
with
you
my
still
mouth,
have
with my mouth tape. And my sleep mask.
Oh,
And my silk sonnet. There you go for some wellness.
That's hysterical.
visualizing it.
What about confidence? Did you have confidence when you were young? Do you feel like you're confident now? What would you tell yourself about all of that?
I had no confidence when I was young because I was very awkward and just not good in high school. Like, I'm not being a jerk, but like,
Would you
I
tell
just-
yourself to snap out of it?
I
Like,
would
it's not
just-
worth it.
again, like, you get to a point in your life where you just don't really care what other people think. And I know that's like cliche because, everybody says that when they're older. Well, it's true. Like literally you just like don't care. You know what I mean? I think one thing that my last piece of advice for the younger generation, please learn about what opportunity cost is. Opportunity cost comes with everything in life. And we were at lunch talking about opportunity cost. I gave the example, if you buy like a $300 pair of Gucci slides, you could have taken that $300 instead, that $300 pair of Gucci slides that you're going to like for like 6 months. I'm sure they're more than $300, but you guys know what I mean. You might like them for 6 months, but if you would have put that $300 in like an index fund or something like that, actually those Gucci slides cost you about $6,000. Like, learn what opportunity cost is and kind of apply it to everything in life and just like learn about how money actually works, not how you're taught about in school. Learn about investing, learn about how you can like pay less taxes. Like, if you really want to be free and successful in this world, you have to learn about what to put your resources in. Like, what is an asset and what is a liability? And I know that sounds very like square and nerdy, but I constantly see younger people, like they're going to Wawa every day.
Mm-hmm.
They're, buying Gucci slides. They're doing this. And then they're like, I don't have any money. Well, guess what? I'm going to tell you why you don't have any money. You don't have a budget. You don't have learn what opportunity cost is. I'm going to stop there.
What about you, Bridget? What would you tell young people today?
Just to take the risks, to show up with confidence, to take the risk, not to look back. There's nothing, honestly, I could look back on and be like, God, I wish I would have done that. I don't kick myself for not doing anything because I always from what I can remember in this moment, put myself out there and took the chances and did the things. I think you have to do that because I think, even if you fail, you're going to kick yourself way more for not taking those chances and not taking those risks. So
You're always going to wonder.
Yeah.
When it comes to don't worry about making the right decision. Worry about making a decision and making that decision right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that.
Make the best decision for you.
Yeah.
Just not what everybody else thinks you should
and
do.
just make a decision. I my whole life had a problem with do I do this? Do I do that? Do I do this? Do I do that? Pick something and then make it right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because you're never going to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I would tell my younger self a couple of things. Number one is don't depend on others for your self-worth.
Amen.
Because the truth is people that may be family, friends, close ones, there are people that may be in your life for a reason, and there are people that may be in your life for a season. So don't allow them to, don't depend on them for your self-worth. Find that within yourself. Nobody can tell you. Second thing is, confidence comes within. It cannot be trained or coached to you. And the only way you're going to get confident with whatever is going through difficult, uncomfortable situations. If you fear those situations, you will never grow as a person. Therefore, you will never have confidence on the other side when you get through that. And lastly, I think it would be don't take advice or don't listen to anybody's opinion that has ever criticized you. Constructive feedback is great, but anybody who has criticized you or has come down on you based off of decisions that you've made in life and has affected maybe that relationship. Like, why would you take advice from them? Why would
Or if they don't have the life you want.
That's what I was just going to say. Don't take advice from people who don't have the life you want to live.
Yeah, be very careful about the opinions that you take to heart of people.
Right.
The best piece of advice I was ever given was by my stepfather. Go ahead. Do whatever it is you're going to do. You want to go do something? Go do it. You don't have to ask my permission, but always be willing to accept the consequences if there is any. So I still carry that to my day. I mean, obviously that was told to me at a very young age when I, wanted to push the line a little bit, but, I still carry that advice to this day, with big decisions that I make, be calculated and, like you were saying about making a decision, you don't get too lost in the sauce, but just be saying, okay, you know what? If I do this could potentially happen. Am I willing to accept that if that does?
Right.
I think that's it. Like those, yeah. Oh, and quit caring about what other people think. Honestly, you care more about what other people think about you than people are actually thinking about you.
Right.
And that's what I tell a lot of the young girls here.
Yeah.
And social media.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Honestly, nobody cares.
And if they do,
they're pieces of shit. I'm sorry, but it's like, you know what I mean? Like, It's like, if it's negative, if it's bullying, if they're like purposely going out of their way to just make your life, like, you know what? Yeah.
That's the big thing. Like, I've lost so many friends over like the past couple of years just because they were like the type that were very, like, all they wanted to do was talk about other people and gossip about stuff. Like, I don't have time for that. Who has time for that? If you're doing like productive things with your life, I don't have the time or energy or like, ew, it gives me the icks. Like, I don't want to hear about it.
Yeah.
Like,
And I think as humans, we all go through a phase, or there's maybe certain times where we get wrapped up in it. And like you said, you get the X, and it's just, who am I surrounding myself with? Surround yourself with people who are going to cheer for you, who are going to support you, who aren't going to leave you, that.
Ooh,
those times.
That leads me to another good piece of advice for the younger ones. Make sure you are not the smartest person in your friends group. Because you are literally the sum of the five people you hang out with the most. And if you want to elevate your life and step it up a notch and get out there, like, make sure you are not the smartest person in your friends group.
Interesting.
Yes.
Well, and I've heard that too, where you actually want to surround yourself with people who are smarter than
who are
you.
pushing you.
Interesting.
Look at us.
Look at us.
Look at us. We're so full of this stuff.
Listen to the old heads.
Yeah.
No, I get a lot of good advice. I mean, I think that the biggest thing for me is that, what I've probably already said is that, just trust that life is taking you where it's supposed to take you. Don't give up. Don't think that because things aren't working out the way you thought they were going to, that's it. I give up. I don't know what to do. I don't know what direction to go. Take that job, take that risk. Just trust that it's taking you where it's supposed to take you. Go out on that date, just put yourself out there, and it's going to take you where it's supposed to take you. The other thing is to always remember to be kind to everybody. Be kind to everybody that you know. You never know, if you are not kind to the people around you now, and I'm especially talking to younger girls, high school, college right now. You're not kind, and you're creating bad situations. You never know. 10 years down the line, you may have to be with that person.
They could be sitting across from you at a job interview.
Exactly. So always be kind. Always think that, we all put our pants on one leg at a time. I remember in high school, there were some girls that were not very nice. But guess what? We all had kids at the same time. We all ended up at the same preschool with our kids. And then all of a sudden, they wanted to all be chummy and all be friends. And it's like, oh, now you want to talk to me because we're all moms at the same time. We're all going through the same shit at the same time. And now I'm good enough for you to talk to. So always be kind, because you never know who you're going to run across again in your life.
My mom used to have she probably still does, in our bathroom at home. It was, be careful what you throw away on your way up the ladder. You never know what you're going to need again on your way down.
Yep. Exactly.
And
Treat
it's
everybody with kindness.
Yeah, and it's such a waste of energy.
Yeah.
And whatever you're putting out into the world is what you're getting back. So if you are being a meanie, guess what?
Yeah.
It's coming back to you in one
Does
way,
it really
shape,
matter?
or form.
Does it really matter?
Exactly.
Putting somebody else down does not elevate you at all. It just makes you look bad.
Right.
Anything else? Mic drop. Boom. All right, we're gonna wrap this one up. So share it with your friends on YouTube, and stay tuned for the next one. Bye.